In Yiddishkeit weiß man that everything is measured, everything works. Kefi der Ashkor, was man legt da rein. Kefi der Geudel Ashkor, was man ist Mashkia, auf so viel nimmt man heraus. In der Gashmistige Welt it's not necessarily like that. Aber in der Ruchnistige Welt, Kefi der Ashkor, what you put in, so viel nimmt man heraus. In Yomoise Nefesh, man strengt sich für eine Mitzvah, nimmt man heraus mördige Peres. Und als nicht, and if you're not mashkia, you don't put in koiches, the less koiches you put in, the less you take out. The more you put in, the more you take out. Pesach, I think, is a Yom Tov that Klal Yisrael, more than all other Yom Tovim, or mashkia tremendous koiches. Hein physical, hein financial. This is a mördige hashkor. And kefi the goydel of the hashkor, that has to be the goydel of a Paris that we take out of a Yom Tov. So Kenish Zayin, it can't be that the whole avoid of a Yom Tov, we worked so hard to get to Pesach, we got through Pesach, we went over Pesach, we're through it, when's the next headache? It's Kenish Zayin, it can't be like that. If there's a tremendous hashkor, there's a tremendous investment, there has to be tremendous dividends. It doesn't make sense that the dividends shouldn't match the investment. So what is the dividends of Pesach? If it's the biggest avodah of the year, it's the hardest work of the year, and then l'chayra, it has to bring the biggest dividends. There's a famous machlokes, Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Shua, whether the world was created in Nisan, the world was created in Tishri. Mitzad echad on Rosh Hashanah we say, Zeh hayom tchilas ma'asecha zikaron l'yom rishon. Rosh Hashanah Zeh hayom tchilas ma'asecha. Mitzad sheni, achodesh hazeh lochem reish chadoshim. Steht in the Sifrei Machshava, Pi Kabbalah, that the Eibishter created the world in Tishri. The Brias Ha'olam for the Welt is Tishri. HaChodesh hazeh lochem reish chadoshim. The latest Ha'olam for Klal Yisrael, that is Nisan. HaChodesh hazeh lochem, it's only for you, not for the Goyim, only for the Yidden. The Eshter Rashi in the Torah. Bereshis Bor Elikim, Omer Reb Yitzchok, L'hoya HaTorah tzorech lahaschil, elo me'achodesh hazeh lochem. U'ma ta'am posach beBereshis. There's two tchilas, there's two beginnings. There's a beginning of Bereshis Bor Elikim, Eis HaShamayim Ve'eis HaOretz, which is a Brias Ha'olam. That beginning, that creation, is a creation of Rosh Hashanah, of Tishri. Tishri Nivro Ha'olam. Zeh hayom tchilas ma'asecha, zikaron l'yom rishon. It's a zikaron to the Yom Rishon. And then you have HaChodesh hazeh lochem reish chadoshim. That's a new beginning. Ad kedei kach that Rabbi Yitzchok fragt, why do we start the Torah with Bereshis and not with HaChodesh hazeh lochem? Because there's two beginnings. And HaChodesh hazeh lochem is the beginning of the mitzvahs, and Bereshis Bor Elikim is the beginning of the Brias Ha'olam. Bereshis Bor Elikim is Zeh hayom tchilas ma'asecha, the creation of the world, the Goyim, the Yidden, the Gamtza, Yikum. And HaChodesh hazeh lochem is the leader of Klal Yisrael. When Klal Yisrael was born, it's the creation of the world for Klal Yisrael. Steht doch in Sforim, as Rosh Hashanah is Tshuva Me'yira, and Pesach is Tshuva Me'ava. I've never seen anyone standing Erev Pesach in Froi B'chizen. My Weibet Gata Baba, Tzaddikas, used to stand by Sreifes Chomet, Hashamnu, Bagadnu, Bazalnu, Mamish, mit der Ernstkeit, B'chias. But I haven't seen it anywhere else. We're not busy with Tshuva when it comes to Pesach. But Pesach is Tshuva Me'ava. No, Tshuva doesn't necessarily mean to do Tshuva. There's a fundamental difference between the Tshuva of Pesach and the Tshuva of Rosh Hashanah. The Tshuva of Nisan and the Tshuva of Tishri. The Tshuva of Tishri is Tikkun. It's Tikkun. We have to fix what we've messed up already. Shamnu, Bogadnu, Al-Chet Shechatonu here, Al-Chet Shechatonu there. Pesach is a Tshuva Me'avo. It's not repairing, it's not Tikkun Oilam, it's Binyan Oilam. It's recreating. Creation, it's Yitzira, it's Binyan. We're creating a new human being, we're creating a new Tzuras Adam, and that is a matana that's only given to Klal Yisrael. HaChodesh hazeh lochem reish chadoshim. No, so we need to understand, if we're recreating a human being, what is this creation? What are we creating here? Was is a Yid? There's a moedige lotion of the Rosh, an Ochus Chaim Lo Rosh. It's kedai to know this Rosh Balpeh. It's a moedige mechazik. It's a heap tufa mensch. The Rosh writes azoi, liv toyach b'Hashem b'chol levovcho, ulehamin b'ashkochosei aprotis. To have betochen in the Eibishter b'chol levovcho, and to believe in Ashkocha Protis. And the Rishonim write that the Ashkocha Protis that the Eibishter has towards Yidden is not the same Ashkocha Protis he has towards Goyim. The whole different level of Ashkocha. Ashkocha Protis is only for Klal Yisrael. Ashkocha Klolis is for all Umas Oilam and the Behemoths and the Chayas. But the Ashkocha Protis is only for Klal Yisrael. Only for Klal Yisrael. As steht in Rishonim and Rambam and Rosh. And therefore, to believe Hashkocha Protis, that's a matona for Klal Yisrael. Uvozeh tekayim bilvovcho hayichud hasholim. Bahamin boy ki einov meshoitetis al kol haaretz ve'einov al kol darchei ish. To know that, to believe that the Eibishter's eyes are watching, are floating over the whole world. They're watching, Eibishter's watching everything that happens in the world. Ve'einov al kol darchei ish. The Eibishter's eyes are al kol darchei ish, on any movement, on anything we do. Or boichen lei v'choike kloyes. When it comes to Rosh Hashanah, we understand boichen lei v'choike kloyes. The Eibishter knows everything I'm doing when I get to mitzvahs naveris. When it comes to Pesach, it's about the Eibishter watches over us and he cares for us, for everything we do. The Eibishter's boichen leiv, he knows all our emotions, he knows all our pain, all our difficulties, all our challenges, what motivates us, what doesn't motivate us, what destroys our motivation. He's boichen leiv v'choike kloyes. Ki mi she'einoi ma'amin b'asher yitzisicho me'eretz Mitzrayim, af bo'noichi Hashem Elokecho einoi ma'amin. If you don't believe asher yitzisicho me'eretz Mitzrayim, then you're not ma'amin in Anoichi Hashem Elokecho. Ve'ein ze yichud sholim. Mamele, it's not yichud sholim. Ki zeu skulas Yisrael al kol ha'amim niflo mo'id, wie der Rosh endigt up. Ki zeu skulas Yisrael al kol ha'amim, v'hu yisoid kol ha'torah kula. Sagt der Rosh, you want to know what Yisoid is? Besteht noch ein Wintersmann, der hat durchgeackert. Das ist ein Boba Kamer, Boba Metzia, Yevomis, whatever it is. You want to know what the Yisoid of Kol HaTorah Kula is? Lahamim b'ashkochos ha'aprotis. Ki zeu skulas Yisrael al kol ha'amim, v'hu Yisoid Kol HaTorah Kula. That's the Yisoid of the whole Torah. And therefore, that is the Yisoid of the Yom Tov of Pesach. And that's why we have so much energy in the investment, because the dividends are so big. I want to understand one line in the Rosh. The Rosh writes, Ki mi she'einoi ma'amin b'asher yitzisicho me'eretz Mitzrayim, af bo'onoichi Hashem Elokecho einoi ma'amin. You cannot believe Onoichi Hashem Elokecho without believing asher yitzisicho me'eretz Mitzrayim. Why not? I don't believe in all the whole story of Yitzis Mitzrayim. If I can't believe Onoichi Hashem Elokecho, why is one interdependent on the other? Why is one necessary for the other? Why can I not have one without the other? Ich mean, the Yisoid is al pi what the Ramban writes. The Ramban writes in Parshas Yisro, Yimoedig Ramban, brings from a medrash. Onoichi Hashem Elokecho asher yitzisicho me'eretz Mitzrayim. Freak the Ramban, I would write, Onoichi Hashem Elokecho asher barosi es ha'olam. I created the world. I took you out of Mitzrayim is only a detail. So the Ramban is marich in the Yisoid. The Ramban is marich every the Lashon of Ramban. The Ramban is marich that in Yitzias Mitzrayim you have all the Yisoidus of Emunah. I'm not going into that now. It's kedai to see that Ramban before you come to Leila Seder. It's kedai to see the Ramban on the Pasuk Onoichi Hashem Elokecho. We licked in Yitzias Mitzrayim, mamish all the Yisoidus of Emunah and Hashkocha and Schavoinish and the Metzius Hashem and Hashkochas Hashem and Yecholes and Yichud. I'm going to Ramban. And then the Ramban finishes off and he says, Asher yitzisicho me'eretz Mitzrayim. Says the Ramban, Adover Niflo. Moshe lemelech is a medrash. Moshe lemelech shenichnas lemedina. A melech comes into a medina. Omru lo yavodov gzeir aleinu gzeiros. He goes on us gzeiros. Give us laws. Give us laws. Tell us what to do. Omru lohem lav. The melech says no. Kshetekablu malchusi egzer aleichem gzeiros. When you makabel my malchus, then I'll be goes on you gzeiros. She'im malchusi einchem makablim gzeiros he'echetem makayim. If you're not makabel my malchus, how are you going to keep my gzeiros? It doesn't make sense. First be makabel that I'm your melech. When you're makabel, I'm your melech, then I'll make you gzeiros. Asher Tzisicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. I'm your melech. I took you out of Mitzrayim. I'm there. I'm watching over you. I'm mashkechim. Then I can get Anochi Hashem Elokechem. Oh, but before you have been makabel Asher Tzisicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim, there's no mokum for Anochi Hashem Elokechem. כשתקבלו מלכוסי אגזר עליכם גזירס, שאם מלכוסי אינכם מקבלים, גזירוס ההך אתם מקיימים. How can you be מקיים? Das ist Pshat in Rosh. If you don't believe Asher Tzisicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim, there's no mokum for Anochi Hashem Elokechem. Because only after you've been makabel that the Eibishter is the melech, then there's a mokum to be makabel as a Torah mitzvahs. But before you've been makabel the Yisoid as the Eibishter is the melech, there's no mokum for Torah mitzvahs. So ki mi she'einu mamin b'asher tzisicha me'eretz Mitzrayim, af bo Anochi Hashem Elokechem einu mamin. It's not mechayiv you. If we analyze this a bit further, kommt the chayis hazoi, kommt the chayis hadover niflo. Pesach is a zman from Kabbalas Malchus Shomayim. It's got nothing to do with the mitzvahs. Mitzvahs, Torah mitzvahs, that's Shavuos. About we're standing after Shavuos as well. We have Sach mitzvahs. Leil Pesach is the Nacht, was the master mitzvahs in the Torah. The master mitzvahs that we have to Mekayim in Leil Pesach, the amount of mitzvahs we Mekayim Leil Pesach, because we're standing after Shavuos. But Pesach without Shavuos, Pesach is about Kabbalas mitzvahs, Kabbalas Malchus. Not about mitzvahs. Mitzvahs, Shabbos, Kashrus, Limud Torah, that's Shavuos. Pesach is Asher Tzisicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. Kommt noch a Pesach, then kommt a Shavuos von Anochi Hashem Elokechem. Aber bis a Shavuos, we have only Asher Tzisicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. The Yisoid of Pesach is Kabbalas Malchus Shomayim. And this Yisoid you see in the Mishnah as well, Rabbi Shimon Korachal, the Mishnah at the beginning of the second period in Brochus. Lama Kodmo Shema Levoyim Shomoyah. K'di shekabel olav Odom il Malchus Shomayim Tchilo v'ach kabel olav il mitzvahs. Il Malchus Shomayim is not about il mitzvahs. It's nothing to do with the mitzvahs. There's no mitzvahs. It was Kabbalas il Malchus Shomayim. What does that mean? What does that mean? What is Kabbalas il Malchus Shomayim without mitzvahs? That means Pesach, I'm a Kabbalah, I'm show you my melech, but I don't need to, there's no mitzvahs, there's no laws, there's no mechayvim. What does that mean? Kipshutoi, it's the fundamentals. Once I'm an Eved from the Eibishter, so he has a samchut to give me, to serve him. I'm a chuyiv, I'm a shubed. He hasn't yet told me what to do. Aber ich bin schon sein Eved. Hallelu avdei Hashem v'lo avdei paroi. I want to suggest something different, something novel. You have a baby, a mother, the liebschaft for a kind. The baby's sleeping, you're watching a baby sleep, and you love the baby, you go, you give the baby a kiss. The baby doesn't know about it. You gave a kiss to the baby face garnished from them. When the baby's awake, you give him a kiss, he reacts, he responds, he relates to it. The Eibishter wants ein Zach. The Yisoid of Pesach is, ich gebe dir a kush. I want you to recognize I'm your father. The leader of Klal Yisrael is Pesach. By the Yom Tov of Pesach, the Eibishter says, I want you to recognize one thing. And the Avodah of Pesach is one thing. To recognize that I am your father. That is the Yisoid of the whole Yom Tov of Pesach. That I am your father. That when you wake up, you'll call me. I'm your father. Call me. A baby is born. Yeah, you take a baby of 6 months, 8 months. You'll ever tell the baby, you've got to listen to me, you've got to respect me, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. You don't tell a baby what to do. A baby versteht gar nicht. When he's 3 years old, 4 years old, then you start teaching him what to do. A newborn baby, melente is ein Zach. Das ist dein Tate und das ist dein Mama. Und das ist die Yisoid von Pesach. The Yisoid of the Yom Tov of Pesach is to be Mekabel Malchus Shomayim, to recognize at the Eibishter is unsere Tate. So da ein mordiger Posuk in Pasha Shmois. Ich werde allemal nispol von der Posuk. The Eibishter tells Moshe Rabbeinu to go to Paroi and give him a message. The first message that the Eibishter wants Moshe Rabbeinu to give over to Paroi. Go and tell Paroi, Leichel Paroi, und sonst sagen, Koi Oma Hashem, b'ni b'chori Yisrael. Was sagt mit dem? V'oi ma elecho, shalach es b'ni v'yavdeni v'atamoyen l'shalcha, hine anochi hoyre gespincha b'chirech. You see 2 children playing in a playground, and one is hitting the other kid. So the Rebbe goes over, separates them. When the one being hit is the child of the Rebbe, it's a ganz andere Spiel. It's a whole different Spiel. You're shepherding my child. The Eibishter gesagt zu Moshe Rabbeinu, geh sag zu Paroi ein Zach. Koi Oma Hashem, du shepherdst sich mit mein Kind. B'ni b'chori Yisrael. Mamela, der Einisch ist im Ganzen anders. Dann doch Meiriv. In Meiriv, wenn man noch so ist, wie kein Malinu, amördige Stickel Tfille. Anche Knesset Agdolia. Der Eibischte ist Oiselonu Nissim und Koma befari. Was ist eine Koma? Der Eibischte ist, je stimmt wie ich dein, aber was ist eine Koma? Oiselonu Nissim und Koma befari. Weil der Eibischte nimmt sich an für uns. Hamake be'evrosoi kol b'chiri Mitzrayim. So do a kas. Der Eibischte ist Make be'evrosoi kol b'chiri Mitzrayim. Hamavi bonov bin Gizvei Amsuf. Der Yisoid be'am Zoiche gewen. As overall bonov gevurosoi shibchu v'hoidu lishmoi. Malchus choro bonecho. The Hakora came b'shas Yitzias Mitzrayim. That Hakora we reached. That we are bonim Hashem. Umalchusoi v'rotzen kiblu aleim. Einmal sedo Hakora. Wir sind bonim von der Eibischte. Is mamela malchusei berotzen kiblu aleim. Das ist der Avoide von Pesach. Der Avoide von Pesach is to recognize und wir sind bonim atam Hashem Elokechem. To recognize as Kabbalas Malchus Shamayim. Endig mit Hamaisa. I saw letztens a moedige Maisa. Mendel Futterfasser gesagt. He said there was once a group of people, there was a Yid, a Meshugana, Shayid, a Goy, a Meshugana who decided he's going to walk over the Niagara Falls on a tightrope. And the whole people gathered together to watch the Meshugana end his life. If he falls down, it's finished. They all get together. They try to convince him, it's not worth it. He says, I can do it. And he walks over to the other end, and he comes back. And he asks, no, you believe I can do it? So what do you mean we believe? We saw you can do it. He said, now bring me a wheelbarrow. And I'm going to walk across pushing a wheelbarrow on the tightrope. Meshugana, the wheelbarrow is going to tip. It's full. It's got schore inside. It's going to tip. You're going to lose your balance. You're going to fall. You're going to die. Leave it to me. He goes with a full wheelbarrow over and back. He comes back. Say, you believe I can go with a wheelbarrow there and back? Yeah, we believe. What do you mean we believe? We saw you can do it. He said, right. Who wants to come inside? I'm going over. Is anyone muchen to come inside? You just told me you believe I can do it and you've seen I can do it. You're muchen to come inside? No Meshugana was muchen to go in the wheelbarrow. There was a 10-year-old girl. She says, you know what, I'll go in. I'll go in. He puts it inside. He goes over from one side to the other side. He comes back. And she gets out the wheelbarrow. And the people turn to her and say, Meshiga, you're crazy. What was your cheshbon to go in? You take a held that he can do anything? You take a believed he can do anything? So I'll tell you the truth, he's my father. He's my father. He's my tata. He's my tata. So I was safe. I know. Sagt der Maral in Gvuras Hashem Perek Lamed Ches. Sagt der Maral, was ist Leil Shimurim? Leil Pesach und Leil Shimurim. Was ist der Leil Shimurim von Pesach? Sagt der Maral mordige Werte. Ki ein Adam mashchis ma'abei dover shehu shaloi. I've never in all my life seen somebody take his phone. Can't manage without the phone. Take his phone and throw it out the window. Throw it into the Danube. Never seen it. Ki ein Adam mashchis ma'abei dover shehu shaloi. A person doesn't destroy something that belongs to him. You don't do that. The Eibishter took us as a nation. We're his children. It's a Leil Shimurim. Ki ein Adam mashchis ma'abei dover shehu shaloi. It's a Leil Shimurim. The Eibishter is watching over us. Ki ein bahamim boy ki ein of meshoyte tois al kol haaretz. The Eibishter is watching over the whole world. Ve'ein of al kol darchei ish. O boichen leve choyke klois. The Eibishter is watching over everything we do, and he's watching, he understands all your difficulties and all your challenges and all your nisyonos and all your shvekheit. And the Eibishter is watching over everything. That is the yisoid of the avodah of Pesach. Not to be makabel Torah mitzvahs. That's shvus. The fundamentals, to recognize and to be makabel sishkan avodah, to recognize, to accept the love that Eibishter gives us, just to be makabel, to understand and appreciate that we're bonim l'Hashem Elokechem, that we're children to the Eibishter. I heard letztens somewhere gesagt, it was a grace of Al Mashpia. Someone told me I was down at Tzisol, someone told me this Maisa. He told me he went in to be mechazek who was very sick with Yena Maisa, and he wanted to be mechazek Yena, and Yena told him, I'll tell you the truth. There was a family, a mother with children, a mother with poor kinder were eating supper on the 4th floor in their apartment, on the 4th floor. And the door was locked. And all of a sudden a lion comes into the room. A lion. The kids screamed. One ran into the cupboard, one ran under the bed, one ran on top of the triple bunk bed. Everyone ran to a different corner. There was one smart 8-year-old kid who stayed in his place, and he carried on eating as if nothing. And the kids were looking at him, Meshugana, there's a lion in the room. and you're just carrying on. The lion comes over to this kid, and the kid just goes and starts stroking the lion. Sure. The lion all of a sudden stands up on 2 feet, takes off his costume, the tata. So they asked the child, was you Meshuggah, you knew it was a father? He says, of course I knew it was my father. He says, we're on the 4th floor, and the door's locked, and only Daddy has a key. He says, only Daddy has a key. How does the lion get in here? It's the tata. So I'm not scared. Wir haben nicht kein Seichel. Wir gehen durch Päcklich. Einmal der Eibischte schickt ein Päckl, he gives you a challenge, he gives you a difficulty. Es kommt nur von der Eibischte. Es kann nur sein von der Eibischte. That's what this fellow was very sick with the Meise. He tells us Yid, alles kommt von der Eibischte. It's all der Rebbeinu Shalom. Er ist mein Tate. He wants the best for me. Aber das geht nicht. Kinder, Shidduchim, Panossa, gesund. Es geht nicht. Es ist da Tate, es ist da Rebbeinu Shalom. Und das ist alles Kaiver. Nothing else is important. Ich habe kein Meure, es kommt von ihm. Er ist mein Tate, es ist kein Leib. He's not a lion. That's our avodah of Pesach. To recognize as all the lions in our life is the Tata. It's our Eibishter. Malchusay berotzen kiblu aleim. Berot bonov gevurosay shibchu v'oidu l'shmoy malchusay berotzen kiblu aleim. Das ist the Yesod of Pesach. In the Rishonim write, the Rambam writes, it's a Gemara, Patrosam Elohim Amanishtanol, the Yesod of Sipur Yitzias Mitzrayim is to come to Hakoras HaToiv, to come to Shvach V'Oido, to the Eibishter. Because the Avodas HaLailo is not an Avodah of starting to be Makabel on yourself, Torah mitzvahs, and to start to make a Kabbalah, to keep Shabbos, and to be a Masmid. That's Shavuos. We're not. The Yesod of the Avodah of Pesach is to recognize and to be Makabel as the Eibishter is our Father who loves us, and is watching over us. When you have such a foundation, when a child is given when he's young, you give a child a lot of love, and he feels he's standing on his own 2 feet, then you can give him Torah mitzvahs. But the Yesod of Pesach is der Shlaf, first stage. As du hast a Tata, who deiges for you, ein of Meshoitetes al kol ha'oretz, ve'ein of al kol darkei ish, ובויכן ליה וחויקה קלויס, ומדף גדנקן כי זהו סגולת ישראל על כל העמים, והוא יסוד כל התורה כולה.